I'm joining us right now, technology analyst and big-eyed Wish founder and creative director in Wishingrad. Great to see you, Ian.
Great to see you.
Thanks so much for joining us. So much to talk about here. It's really interesting what Apple is doing. What's your reaction? And is this also about the fact that it doesn't see growth in the hardware like the iPhone or the iPad?
A few things. I think they did such a good job. They hit $1 trillion. It's like a ubiquitous piece of equipment that you got to give them a minute. It's okay. I mean, the next thing Samsung's talking about are folding phones. Do we need that per se? I think it takes a long time for the next big hardware to come out. I thought it's a really smart move on their part. They find that when you activate and use their services, it really dramatically reduces churn and keeps you in that Apple walled garden. So I thought it was really exciting and big news for them. It's also a high margin business. The thing that's interesting, I find, is that Apple Card was something no one talked about. Everyone was talking about the TV service and what's going to be there. That was a little bit of a Me Too thing with the Netflix and the Hulu and the other streamers. But I thought the card's really interesting because in our generation, there's a lot happening with Venmo and PayPal. So the idea that they kind of have a brand that's so strong that you'd want their card like an Amex is very clever.
And it was really novel. I mean, there are all kinds of things that were completely different about it. You could get it instantly online and no receipts. I mean, it really does sort of further the automatic pay mechanism. And it's tied up with Goldman Sachs, right? So It's not like they don't have any sort of financial chops going into this.
They did a good job marketing this. They really hammered privacy, right? And tech in general is getting crushed on privacy. What are you doing with my data? They've put a real stake in the ground and said, we're going the other way. It's your privacy, your phone. You do what you want with it, which I thought was a really smart move on their part.
Ian, net, with these announcements yesterday of these services, that we either knew about or we knew they were coming or we didn't know about in case of the credit card, do consumers win here? Are they going to get better content and services at lower prices here?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Happening?
$10 a month for the News Plus service. If you think how many people, it's a bad time to be a digital media news publisher. It really struggles to make money. Facebook and Google take basically every digital dollar out there. So even though the split terms of the ad revenue for them isn't awesome, it's better than nothing. And everyone's saying, you know what, we'll sign up for a year, we'll see how it works, because you don't want to be left behind when Apple decides to make a decision.
The TV service, it's actually in two parts, right, Ian? So there's the TV app,
yes,
which you will be able to subscribe with one click to like HBO and
yes,
Showtime, other content providers, and then the video subscription
correct,
service, which we don't yet know what that's going to cost, but you will be able to use this TV app on other devices like a Samsung television,
yes,
which is an unusual move for
Well,
Apple
if you guys remember, Ken Aletta wrote the book Frenemies, and that's really the future of technology. Everyone has to tap dance and play with each other and find when we're going to play nice, when we're not going to play nice. They're trying to be the conduit for all your content. And if you think about the car, does anyone have Apple CarPlay? You stick your iPhone in and it kind of becomes the interface in your car. That's the move for them. That's how you keep in the Apple ecosystem, because they can't assume they're going to charge $2,000 on a phone, and that's going to be the business forever.
So the auto business represents a big growth story then for Apple.
Yeah, well, they chose instead
the auto
of
industry.
Yeah, well, they chose to go the software route as opposed to building the car itself.
Right, no,
which,
within
yes,
the car, I mean,
yeah,
connecting, and then you can, that gives them a whole nother sort of avenue to come up with new devices for the car.
Yeah, they're trying to become a part of your life, so it's not about the phone, it's on your health with your watch, and it's payment with your wallet. They're slowly boiling you, insidiously grabbing you and saying, it's so nice in here, I want to stay in this ecosystem.
Well, but they had to do something in terms of content because they were getting left behind by literally everyone. And so this was kind of a must-have for them. There were almost 500 original programs that were created last year. So they've got to be in the ball game.
And they don't need too many hits. If you think Netflix was House of Cards and Hulu was Handmaid's Tale, so they already have strategists ready to figure out how to win Emmys and Oscars, because once you get a few hits, people are like, I got to watch this.
But are we getting to a saturated period? I mean, you got Netflix spending $12-13 billion, Hulu, Amazon, and now Apple is going to be investing in content. Rupert just sold, the entertainment assets. I don't know. I think maybe we're looking at a peak for content.
I think they're looking, the way they positioned it was like, we're going direct. We bring Steven Spielberg directly to you. We're bringing Oprah to you. It was very clever how they positioned it. Like, screw the movie theaters. We're going to bring the talent right into your home. You've got the big screen already. It really matters about the quality of the content. It's not the volume. So they put $1 billion in, where Netflix spends 10 and HBO spends 2. So it wasn't that much money in the scheme of what other people do.
If you're a content creator, this is the boom times.
It really is.
Oh, yeah.
the golden age
yeah.
of television. But there is that danger of, do you have people working at your company who have incredible instincts about entertainment development, because you could end up wildly overpaying for a steaming sack of garbage.
Well, Apple's got the money to acquire Netflix.
Yeah, they do, but I think maybe there's you drive down the value of Netflix as a company and then you go in and eventually buy it. I don't know.
I think the risk here, again, I was thinking about the lower pricing for consumers. The issue here is that everyone's paying a lot for content, but eventually that can come back and bite you. I mean, is that a fear longer term?
This is tangential to their business. Their business is still selling the hardware and getting you to use. They're trying to get you to just grow and spend more time with their platform. It's all about where you spend your time and attention now. And they were really smart to not say we're going to sell it to advertisers and try to make money. So they get a nice pivot from the social platforms. And I think a lot of us have fear about what's going on with our information and who's watching us. It was a really smart strategic position to say everything's secure and encrypted.
That said, their basic business is slowing down. So I mean, yes, I think it's a smart move to do all these other things, but everyone has to be watching the enormous profitability of their iPhone business and saying that's not growing at this point, and all these others there's enormous competition. So I just think it's a huge and fascinating pivot for the company.
Yeah, which is why they've been emphasizing services last couple of years.
For sure.
Because of this very reason.
Yes, but also it takes, the carriers used to subsidize the phone, so it was easy to upgrade every 2 years. Now you're paying for that full $1,000 phone or whatever. So you're going to hold on for another year or two. I think there'll be another cycle where people re-up on iPhones and they'll come out with some real next level kind of artificial intelligence. That's where they're behind. If you see behind the scenes, they're poaching some top people. That's where they are behind Amazon and Google on artificial intelligence, because they don't listen to everything and they don't get that machine learning.
Just really quickly, YouTube TV, I have all of the TV services. It is absolutely the best.
Wow.
It is absolutely the
huh?
best streaming TV service, and it's amazing.
Well, they have a lot of experience.
And it's individuals putting stuff out there
Yeah.
on YouTube.
No. This is YouTube TV.
okay.
It's literally like cable on your
Yes.
phone.
Oh, YouTube
That's
TV
cool.
is as content developer.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Got it.
That's
Ian,
interesting.
great to see you.
Thank you for having me.